Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says protecting Kaziranga is key for Assam's future and coming generations. Lays foundation for rupees 6,950 crore elevated corridor, flags of Amrit Bharat trains, highlights Kaliabor's historic importance. US President Trump imposes 10% tariffs on 8 European nations from February 1st over Greenland row. EU ambassadors to hold emergency meeting. EU-Mercosur bloc sign free trade deal after 25 years of negotiations amid concerns over global tariffs, isolationism. Pacers give India early breakthroughs in the third and final ODI against New Zealand in Indore. Harshit Rana strikes with his first delivery. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on a visit to Assam on Sunday, received thunderous applause and warm felicitations as he arrived at the venue in Kaliabor in the Nagaon district of the state. PM laid the foundation stone for the ambitious Kaziranga elevated corridor project involving 4-laning of the Kaliabor-Numaligarh section of National Highway 715 at a cost exceeding rupees 6,950 crores. This eco-friendly initiative features a 35-kilometer elevated wildlife corridor through Kaziranga National Park to ensure safe animal movement, reduce human-wildlife conflicts and enhance regional connectivity. During the event, the Prime Minister also virtually flagged off 2 new Amrit Bharat Express trains, the Guwahati-Kamakhya Rohtak Amrit Bharat Express and the Dibrugarh-Lucknow Gomtinagar Amrit Bharat Express. These services aim to strengthen rail links between the northeast and northern India, improving travel convenience and economic integration. Earlier, PM Narendra Modi also reviewed the model of the Kaziranga Elevated Corridor project. The 86-kilometer long Kaziranga Elevated Corridor project is an environmentally conscious national highway project. The project aims to improve regional connectivity while ensuring protection of the park's rich biodiversity. PM Modi recalled that there was a time when rhino poaching was a major concern, with dozens of one-horned rhinos killed in 2013 and 2014. But now not a single case of rhino poaching has been reported in 2025 due to government's political will and efforts of the people of Assam.
एक समय था जब काजीरंगा में राइनो के शिकार की घटनाएं असम की सबसे बड़ी चिंता बन चुकी थी। 2013 और 14 में एक सींग वाले दर्जनों राइनो मारे गए। भाजपा सरकार ने तय किया था कि हम ये नहीं चलने देंगे। अब ऐसा नहीं चलेगा। हमने इसके बाद सुरक्षा व्यवस्था को नए सिरे से मजबूत किया। वन विभाग को आधुनिक संसाधन मिले, निगरानी तंत्र सशक्त हुआ, वन दुर्गा के रूप में महिलाओं की भागीदारी बढ़ाई गई। इसका सुखद परिणाम भी सामने आया। 2025 में राइनो के शिकार की एक भी घटना सामने नहीं आई है।
Emphasizing that expanding rail connectivity benefits both social and economic levels, making it crucial for the Northeast. PM Modi said that Assam has received 5 times more in the rail budget to nearly 10,000 crore annually.
जब हम रेल कनेक्टिविटी कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ाते हैं तो इसका फायदा सामाजिक और आर्थिक दोनों स्तरों पर होता है। इसलिए नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए कनेक्टिविटी का विस्तार बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। लेकिन कांग्रेस ने कभी इसकी परवाह नहीं की। मैं आपको एक आंकड़ा देता हूं। जब कांग्रेस की केंद्र में सरकार थी तो असम को बहुत कम रेल बजट मिलता था, लगभग 2000 करोड़ रुपए। अब भाजपा सरकार में इसे बढ़ाकर लगभग 10,000 करोड़ रुपए सालाना कर दिया गया है।
Prime Minister Modi warned that infiltrators are disturbing the demographic balance, attacking culture, snatching jobs from the poor and youth, and fraudulently occupying land in tribal areas, posing a grave threat to both Assam and the nation's security.
साथियों, ये घुसपैठिए आबादी का संतुलन बिगाड़ रहे हैं, हमारी संस्कृति पर हमले कर रहे हैं, गरीब का, नौजवान का रोजगार छीन रहे हैं, आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में धोखे से लोगों की जमीन पर कब्जा कर रहे हैं। ये असम और देश की सुरक्षा दोनों के लिए बहुत बड़ा खतरा है। साथियों, कांग्रेस से आपको बहुत सावधान रहना है। कांग्रेस की एक ही नीति है, घुसपैठियों को बचाओ, घुसपैठियों की मदद से सत्ता पाओ। पूरे देश में कांग्रेस और उसके साथी यही कर रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now en route to West Bengal, where he will inaugurate, lay the foundation stone off and flag off various development projects worth more than 830 crore at Singur, Hooghly. Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of the extended port gate system at Balagar, including an inland water transport IWT terminal and a road over bridge spanning an area of approximately 900 acres. Balagar is being developed as a modern cargo handling terminal with an envisaged capacity of about 2.7 million tons per annum. The project includes the construction of 2 dedicated cargo handling jetties, one for containerized cargo and one for dry bulk cargo. Prime Minister will launch the state-of-the-art electric catamaran in Kolkata. This is one of the 6 electric catamarans indigenously built for inland water transport by Cochin Shipyard Limited. The vessel will support urban river mobility, ecotourism and last-mile passenger connectivity along the Hooghly River. Prime Minister will flag off 3 Amrit Bharat Express trains: Kolkata-Howrah, Anand Vihar Terminal, Amrit Bharat Express; Kolkata-Sialdah, Banaras, Amrit Bharat Express; Kolkata-Santragachi, Tambaram, Amrit Bharat Express. And DD India's Deepika Mehto joins us from Singur, West Bengal. Hi Deepika, very good afternoon to you. Deepika, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming there in a while. What's the latest you have from Ground Zero? Deepika.
Good afternoon, Siddharth. As you said and listed out all the projects that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to inaugurate from the land of Singur. It is worth around 830 crore rupees, as you rightly mentioned. And when we talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's presence here in Singur, this is in itself a huge, significant point when we talk about Singur and its industrial relation in the past as well, be it the history. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming here, addressing the people here, because he would also be having a public rally here after inaugurating all the projects. This in itself speaks volumes, because when we talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming here and givting 830 crore rupees projects to the people of West Bengal, not only Singur but to the entire West Bengal, this will per se not only develop the economy of West Bengal, but will also help in generating employment opportunities that has been much awaited by the people of Singur here, particularly yesterday when we had a word with the localites of Singur, with the villagers of Singur, who said that gone are the days when Tata used to help them in creating job opportunities, having their factory over here, but after whatever happened and after all the political turmoil, the factory was taken away, all the employment opportunities were taken away. That was a huge battle that the people had to fight for. Now people don't have the employment opportunities here. But now, after so many years, mostly after 2 decades, Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming here, addressing the people here is not only helping in streamlining the development of Singur, but also giving them employment opportunities and a lot of confidence to stay in their own land instead of migrating, Siddharth.
Oh, definitely. And Deepika, you're at ground zero. How's the excitement there?
Definitely. So many people are so much excited. We've been here since early morning. The event starts almost at around 3 o'clock and people are coming here in large numbers. There are 2 events here. First, the inauguration of various infrastructural-led projects worth 830 crore rupees by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Right.
And after that, Prime Minister will be having a public rally.
Right.
So both the events are there. People are really excited and coming here in large numbers. We had a word with many of them and they said they were awaiting this moment and now the moment are here. So they are all set to witness Prime Minister Narendra Modi here.
Oh, definitely. And Deepika, also talk to us about how these projects will enhance trade and connectivity in the region. Deepika.
First of all, when we talk about the ports and inland waterways development which is happening, that will not only create employment opportunities for the people who are related with the waterways, for the with the ports, but the ports are related to the cargo development.
Right.
So there, when we talk about the cargo development, trade will fasten up. And secondly, when we talk about the inland waterways, that will lower the pressure on the highways and the roadways because there are 2 jetties also which will be gifted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi of West Bengal. So this is a 360-degree development when we talk about it. It's not only about how, traders are getting benefited from it, but localites are equally getting benefited from it, having the employment opportunities, having the access to different places, and also the less pressure that the roadways will have by segregating the pressure of travel to different ways, including the waterways here, Siddharth.
Definitely. Very quickly, Deepika, before we let you go, we saw a wonderful report by you earlier in the morning, wherein you were having conversation with people and they were talking about the opportunities and trade. So you have had a word with people, a lot of them. What are they saying? And what are their expectations?
That they were waiting for this moment to come. They were waiting for somebody to come here, a powerful leader to come here and address all the issues that they've been having and the issues which have been neglected from a long while. It's been decades. People don't have here employment opportunities. People have to unfortunately migrate from here to different states, to different places in order to have a better lifestyle. They don't have access here. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when the announcement was made that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming to Malda first and then he will be going to Singur, so many people were excited. People were really awaiting this moment and they said that not only the arrival will give them confidence to stand with a better reputation here, to stand with a very prominent reputation of Singur over here across not only the country but across the world, but they said that they will have employment opportunities that they were looking for. And it's not only about people in general, it is specifically about women and youth. We had a word with both the categories, with local women and with the local youth as well. They said that they really want to stay here in Singur and create from Singur for the country. And with today's initiative that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to hand over to the people of Singur, people are really hopeful that something wonderful really would happen with a vision of developed Singur that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is having for the people.
Definitely. By what you're saying, Deepika, we can assess that it's a happy environment, happy mood there as Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be reaching there really soon. And we also hope that when you come here, you bring sweets for us since you are in West Bengal. Thank you so much.
All right.
And still to come on the Indian News Hour. Indonesia finds wreckage of missing surveillance plane. Morocco experiences heavy snowfall. Serbia's protesters demand sweeping reforms.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you.
Save your country.
You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. And ambassadors from the European Union's 27 countries are in huddle after US President Donald Trump vowed a wave of increasing tariffs on European allies until the United States is allowed to buy Greenland. EU ambassadors are going to convene an emergency meeting over the row. Trump said 10% tariffs would take effect on February 1st on imports from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, Great Britain, the Netherlands and Finland. Tariffs may rise to 25% on June 1st and remaining in place until a deal is reached. European leaders criticized the move, backing Denmark and warning the tariff threat could undermine NATO and destabilize transatlantic ties. European countries said they were coordinating a response, while EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said tariffs harm prosperity on both sides of the Atlantic. Meanwhile, protesters gathered in Nuuk to protest against Trump's plans for the US to take over the Danish autonomous territory.
What we want to use our energy on is just to live here, live with each other, live in peace in the country that we love and we respect. We know the Arctic, we know our country, and we are the ones to care for it. And it's been quite a big pressure from the whole world for us to take decision. We didn't never ask to have this situation. We never asked for this position we have right now, situation. So we just want to live in peace and quiet in our country. So we hope this pressure will be removed from us.
Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that territorial integrity and sovereignty are fundamental principles of international law and essential for Europe and the global community. She emphasized Europe's commitment to Arctic security, NATO cooperation and full solidarity with Denmark and Greenland. And DD India's Akshay Dongre joins us from newsroom on the story. Hi Akshay, very good afternoon to you. Akshay, when we talk about the latest development in this entire matter, President Trump has imposed 10% tariffs on 8 European nations. What's the latest you are tracking on this?
Well, obviously there is a lot of anger as far as this tariff threat is concerned, because if you have to take into account the sort of alliance that has been fostered between these two sides, the USA and the European Union, it has been serving as a long-term agreement between the two sides to cooperate on these areas, to protect each other's sovereignty, to protect each other's territorial integrity and respect each other's rules as far as their own territories are concerned. And the attack is directly on that bond that the two sides have shared for a very long time. In fact, since post World War II, these two sides have emerged as clearly the defenders of and what they have claimed especially as the defenders of freedom of speech, defenders of other sort of territorial integrities of each other. NATO is essentially protecting each other's territorial integrity, and that these threats, these demands of buying or rather demands of taking over Greenland are clearly an attack on that very integrity that the two sides have maintained. And once the country of Denmark has clearly refused that they don't want to sell Greenland, even the Greenlanders have clearly stated that they do not want to be annexed to the United States of America. What we are seeing essentially is that a threat is being given by the US President of a 10% tariff starting 1st of February and then increasing it to 25%. from 1st of January. And that is going to continue till the time an agreement is reached between the two sides to buy Greenland. So it is essentially a big jolt to the sort of alliance that the two sides have maintained, and that is why what we are seeing is France coming openly against the US, Swedish Prime Minister speaking against this threat of tariff, the UK Prime Minister. So some of the closest allies as far as the NATO grouping are concerned are against each other now essentially. And what the European Union chief has said is that the kind of thaw that is there, the kind of bridge that has been created over the demand of buying Greenland is going to make both the sides poorer, and it is only Russia and China that are laughing at the entire situation. So it is an attack that is weakening both the sides. However, President Trump refused to believe this, and what essentially we are hearing from his side is that the resolve to buy Greenland is absolute in nature as far as the US national security is concerned, considering the Golden Dome, as well as his claims that if the US doesn't buy it, China and Russia will. So as far as the both sides in the Atlantic are concerned, the ridge is only going to deepen as the political instability and geopolitical instability rather deepens as far as the two sides are concerned over a piece of territory that is in fact a territory that is owned by Denmark for several centuries now.
Definitely. And US has already said, Akshay, that Greenland is very important to them because of the security reasons. Apart from that, like you've said, that people there in the Greenland are not liking it actually, and it also might have an impact on NATO, isn't it, Akshay? How do you...
Well, obviously, Siddharth, as far as the sovereignty of the people of Greenland are concerned, their wishes trumps everything else. It is what the people of Greenland want, when they have clearly stated that they want to stay with Denmark, they want to stay with the European Union, and they don't want to be annexed to the United States. No amount of money or threat or luring is going to change that as far as near future is concerned, and something that we have seen in the last few months since the demands have increased to buy Greenland. However, the question also remains that if both the sides, both Denmark and US are part of NATO, both see attack on each other as attack on themselves, then what is the need to buy Greenland to protect it from China and Russia? Anyway, it is part of if it is part of a territory of your ally as far as NATO is concerned. So the entire point of buying it just to protect their own country is a big question mark there as far as the alliance is concerned. And it seems that Donald Trump, as he has earlier tried to undermine the NATO, it seems that his trust from the organization has completely eroded, and what he needs right now is to act in a partisan manner, act in an individualistic manner to protect the country and annexed territory like it used to happen during the colonial times.
Okay, Akshay, this is developing and we'll keep taking updates from you on this, and thank you so much as of now.
Thank you.
We'll leave there. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met US Senator Steve Daines on Sunday morning in New Delhi. External Affairs Minister held a wide-ranging and open discussion on India-US bilateral relationship and its strategic significance. Mercosur and the European Union signed a historic trade agreement in Paraguay on Saturday, concluding more than 25 years of negotiations. Let's take a look at a report to know more.
Mercosur and the European Union signed a landmark trade agreement in Asunción, creating the world's largest free trade area, covering more than 700 million people and nearly 20% of global GDP, with the main objective to cut tariffs on most goods traded between the two blocs.
We are creating the largest free trade zone in the world. This agreement sends a very strong message to the world. It reflects a clear and deliberate choice. We choose fair trade over tariffs. We choose a productive, long-term partnership over isolation.
Relations between the EU and Mercosur date back to 1999, when a framework cooperation agreement came into force. After years of stalled talks, progress resumed in recent years. On 9th January 2026, the EU Council approved both for signature, paving the way for Saturday's ceremony in Paraguay.
But I want to insist on something. It is fundamental that during the implementation stage, the spirit of what was negotiated is preserved. The incorporation of mechanisms that restrict the access, such as quotas, safeguards, or measures of equivalent effect, will significantly reduce the economic impact of the agreement and will undermine its essential objective. We have to ensure in our parliaments that this does not happen.
The new EU-Mercosur agreement is critical for both sides, as it is expected to yield many beneficial results like boosting trade and investment, supporting economic growth and job creation, enhances competitiveness by securing supply chains and diversifying sources of energy and raw materials. Radical shift with unprecedented commitments to fight climate change, including tackling deforestation and reinforcing political, economic and cultural ties between the two regions. The deal has also sparked opposition within the European Union. In France, farmers had protested in Paris, warning the deal could expose local agriculture to unfair competition. In Ireland, thousands of Irish farmers, many of whom travelled across the country on tractors, protested against the European Union's Mercosur trade deal. As the agreements move towards ratification, both the European Union and Mercosur say they hope the deal will boost trade, investment and cooperation across two continents. Bureau Report, DD India.
In Serbia, student-led protests continued in northern city of Novi Sad, demanding reform and early elections. Novi Sad has remained at the center of nationwide protests for over a year, sparked by the deaths of 16 people in the collapse of a newly built railway station roof. Demonstrators demanded the removal of officials who were accused of being linked to a corrupt system. They said the move is essential to restore public trust and uphold the rule of law. The protesters also urged authorities to release documents related to public projects and ongoing investigations. Indonesian authorities have located the wreckage of a surveillance plane that went missing near a fog-covered mountain in Indonesia's South Sulawesi province. The aircraft had been chartered by Indonesia's Marine Affairs and Fisheries Ministry to conduct aerial fisheries surveillance. Indonesia's National Transportation Safety Committee will lead the investigation into the crash, the cause of which remains unclear. All right, and in the latest in Greenland row, Donald Trump has imposed 10% tariffs on 8 European nations, sending shockwaves perhaps to the entire Europe. To talk more on this, we've been joined by foreign affairs expert Malika Pandey, who's joining us live on the broadcast. Ma'am, a very warm welcome to the broadcast, a very warm welcome to DD India News. We were telling our viewers that in the latest, Trump has announced tariffs on 8 European countries over Greenland row. How do you assess this move by the US president? And that makes me also ask how crucial Greenland is to the United States.
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me on your studio.
Pleasure.
And I just want to say that this is the largest island in the world.
Yeah.
With 50,000 population, but it is an ultimate jackpot. That's what I would like to share with your viewers, because it does not only have oil. You know, if you see the history, wherever US attacks, be it Iraq, be it Libya, be it Venezuela now, it's always attacked the countries which are rich in oil. But Greenland, like I said, is an ultimate jackpot, not only in oil, but rare earth metals.
Yeah, right.
Which have not been excavated because, you know, it wasn't possible because of the snow. But due to climate change, you see a constant decline in the snow. So it's there for rare earth metals, which are used highly in technology. There is oil. And the third thing which is there is the shipping route. So, you know, largely if you see, the shipping routes have been dependent on the trade of the world have been dependent either on Panama Canal or the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
But now we have a new canal developing there, which is the Northwest Passage, which Trump fears is going to be taken by Russia and China. I don't know how he is blaming it on China, actually, because you know, according to the marine traffic, and I was looking at the data and I was analyzing the data.
Okay.
Even though China tried to enter Greenland, it couldn't because Denmark and Greenland government blocked them out of the deal. So you don't see Russia and China entering that much. Of course, they're interested, but they are not being able to enter like the president claims. But this place is proximately very close to the US. So hence, it turns out to be very important. And because of the, you know, some people see global warming as a threat. But sadly, for a superpower like America, he's seeing it as an opportunity. And opportunity not only in terms of trade, but in terms of controlling that entire place. And even though we see America's present in Greenland for a very long time, I mean, they already have their base there. They have 100 people deployed there. But you see, they just want to own it. Because he clearly states that they want to defend it, and you know all these things. It's very unfortunate whatever the events are happening there, and with the tariffs coming up, like you clearly mentioned, that there are 10% tariffs which have been put on to the NATO allies, and this is the same Denmark, by the way, which supported US in Afghan and Iraq war.
Yeah, and the tariffs could go up to 25% as well.
Yes, the tariffs could go up to 25% starting from June. And these are NATO allies. I mean, their Article 5 clearly states that they have to be together. So this is such a paradox.
You're absolutely right here. You just mentioned Article 5. I want to ask you that Article 5 says, we all are aware of it, that attack on one country will be considered as attack on all the countries. But the fact is that if Article 5 comes into place, will they be able to attack United States, the country who actually formed NATO? In 1949.
In 1949. Right. I mean, the basic of the entire military, if you study, 70% of the defense is controlled by America.
You're right.
Only 30%, you know, they just give just 30%, which is very less amount for 31 countries in the NATO. It's the ratio, the proportion is, so without America, NATO is not there. Let's just understand that. I mean, French army just deployed 100 personals there. You know, some armies, Italy army, very few personals there because their whole backbone is America.
You're right. I also want to ask you that you mentioned deal, that if China wants to get into Greenland, then they will be put out of the deal. But there is no deal happening as such because people there are very much angry. They are protesting. They don't want to be Americans. They just want to be Greenlanders. But my question to you now is, what's going to happen to NATO?
NATO, like, it's very interesting how the series of events are evolving now, you know, like if you see the NATO, half of the people in NATO are opposing Trump, and it's also, it's a big hypocrisy that how confused are Trump's MPs also. You see a lot of Republicans gang up against Trump and his policies, be it for the Venezuela, be it for Greenland. A lot of people are saying US is going to lose their credibility. And for Greenlanders also, you see massive protests in Nuuk also. Yesterday, you see a lot of protests in Denmark as well. So all of them are protesting. Thousands of people are gathering. And this is one of the largest protests that the Greenlanders have done. I mean, so far, they're like, Greenland is not for sale. I mean, it's not your business deal. And Trump likes to put tariffs, like we all know. And these tariffs have now become political punishment, honestly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, please continue. You were saying something.
So I think it's just going to dissolve. I think NATO is just going to dissolve if Trump decides to attack them. Yes, I would rather say that, because all the EU countries, like be it France, be it Germany, be it UK, all of them are coming together. All of them are putting their statements.
And will there be any possibility that US might pull out of NATO?
Yes, high possibility. I mean, seeing Trump and his confused foreign policy, I mean, you see he's threatened his old-time friend Cuba as well. The only, you know, the only friendly country who helped support them in the Cold War. I mean, they're now threatening Denmark as well. They're like, I mean, you know, I've never seen, and it's really funny, that the White House posted an image sometime back where they show a dog sledge, And it's an animation, and I would like your viewers to go to the White House. Just 2-3 days back, they have posted this tweet where they have made the Greenlanders choose two pathways. One is the pathway where the US flag is there, and one is the pathway where Russia and China are there.
Right.
So I mean, these kind of animations that he posts, these kind of tweets that he's putting out there. I mean, it's a very confused state of affairs that we are in right now.
And we'll have to wait and see what will happen next. But coming on to what you are also saying, that US has its eyes on Greenland since 150 years. It's not 1 year, 2 year, 10 year, 50, 150 year. They want a deal. They want a deal. Trump wants it at any cost. He said if not US, then either Russia or China will take it. Do you see it happening? If so, do you see it happening by force?
I think, Russia and China are having the last laugh, because this will mark the decline of the NATO deal. So what better? I mean, it's the last laugh that both of these countries are sharing, and both these superpowers are sharing, that if Trump does this, it's going to dissolve NATO at the end of the day. And he will do it by force, because if you see that the proximity of Greenland is closer to US rather than Denmark or Europe. And like I clearly mentioned, that earlier they have always been behind Greenland for 150 years, but now what we as citizens of India are seeing as global, the climate change as a global threat. Trump is, at the end of the day, a businessman. He's seeing it as a business opportunity, because this opens the Northwest Canal, which reduces the shipping routes, right? The reduction of this shipping passage means more money for him. So he's a businessman at the end of the day. This is a deal for him. Tariffs are political punishments for him. So this is a guy we're talking about who is very confused in his foreign affairs.
Right. And we know US has said that they want Greenland because it's vital from the security perspective. But is it just restricted to that? Because you were also mentioning critical minerals, you were also mentioning trade routes, sea routes, and you were also mentioning oil. Is it something beyond that as well? Beyond what meets the eye?
Oh, yes. Also, there's one very interesting thing that I came across very recently and I've been reading about Greenland a lot of times. And what is there to see is that if someday Russia decides to attack the US, this place can be used as their, like the Israel has their Iron Dome. There was a possibility where he is building a Golden Dome here.
Yeah.
So you see that he can build something like that, a Golden Dome, which, if any time Russia attacks or any power attacks, because this is like sort of a Western, Greenland is an opening to the Western world that way.
Right.
So it can give him a 15-minute, which was in the analysis that it would give him a 15-minute heads up if anybody is attacking US. If kind of controlling Greenland, kind of installing something in Greenland will give him that upper edge, that if any Asian country or any European country decides to attack America, they can come to know about it 15 minutes before the attack. So, that's a huge, huge time.
Right.
So security-wise, national security-wise, it's very important, like he said, for America to control it. But, we need to see that, and he mentions all these things like, Denmark just controls it because it was just 500 years ago, there was a boat of Danish people which landed there and they said that it's theirs. But Greenlanders have just marked that we want to be with Denmark and not with the US. So that's what Trump also needs to understand, that it's a semi-autonomous area.
Right. Also, ma'am, under Cold War treaty, American forces enjoy almost unfettered military access there. Can this treaty be used by US to bring in more forces and execute what they want?
Oh, they're already doing that. I mean, they have 100 personnel already deployed there.
Perhaps 150. Perhaps 150.
Yeah, perhaps 100 to 150. I mean, they keep doing that changes, and sometimes they're also not clear. They're not very open about that source as well. So they've deployed a lot of people already there. But yes, it's going to see US. Like I said, it's in the confused state of affairs now. I mean, we see them attacking Venezuela. According to the UN UN Security Council Article 2 and 42, they cannot attack a country like that, which is a sovereign country, and they pick up the president and they attack and they take his wife also, and the trial is being held at a New York court. I mean, they're not even US citizens. How are you holding them accountable in the US courts?
Okay, let's focus on Greenland, ma'am, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, so what I mean to say, I mean, anything is possible for the US right now.
Okay, anything is possible
Yeah.
for the United States. This is a situation which is developing, and we'll see more and more updates in future. But as of now, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining in on DD News. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Morocco experienced an intense snowfall covering streets, parks and rooftops in a thick blanket of white. The sudden weather brought picturesque scenes across the city and countryside. Dozens of South Koreans plunge into the chilly water at Busan's Haeundae Beach during the annual Polar Bear Festival in an iconic winter activity to pray for good health in the new year. Wood shavings, sawdust and paint fumes fill the air in the warehouses in Chongshan village, Suzhou, where Chinese artisans have been carving Buddhas and shrines for decades. The village has become popular with photographers keen to capture the craftsmen at work. The New Delhi World Book Fair has reached its final day, but the excitement at Bharat Mandapam shows no signs of slowing down. On its 8th day, visitors flooded the halls, queued up at book-stalls and attended a lively schedule of discussions showcasing India's rich literary, cultural and creative diversity. The New Delhi World Book Fair 2026 from January 10 at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi features free entry for the first time and highlights themes like Indian military history, valor and wisdom at 75 with a dedicated pavilion and digital library. Guest of honor country this year is Qatar, while Spain is the focus country. With over 3,000 stalls and 2 million visitors, the fair provides a massive platform for publishers, authors and readers to connect, celebrate literature and engage in meaningful dialogues.
Young generation, the young parents have become more conscious about, getting the books in front of their kids now. That's a very, very welcome change, especially after COVID. And what I personally see, I mean, just look around. I mean, so many schools have sent their children for the book fair. So many parents are around here with their little ones, and just exploring the books and buying the books. The trend is back. I mean, when the gadgets came, people thought that this trend will get over. And everybody was scared. The publication houses were very scared when the e-books were launched. But today, if you see, we are back. We're back to our traditional forms. And that's exactly, I think, that is what a human touch and the nature, when we combine the nature and the human, it becomes a real good partnership.
Since the morning I've been here looking after so many books and the stalls. It's rising on a very high level, I can say for sure, and especially like promoting it on this level at the national level, and it's like a world book fair, so it's gonna rise so much, and it's such a good thing that our youth is focusing on reading books, and it's not just they are, when we say that Gen Z is about social media and internet, it's not just, they are not confined to that, they are reading books, they are coming out, and especially when we have a new section on children's, like kids section, so that's also a good thing, I think.
India is a very promising publishing industry. If you go by statistics, we are third largest publishing ecosystem in the world. And if you go by numbers, we have the largest consumer of this publishing ecosystem with a very large number of academic education framework that we have in terms of more than 300 million students that we have. So largely I see that growth of publishing in India is very encouraging.
Moving on to weather updates, cold wave conditions and dense fog blanketed parts of Delhi on Sunday morning as temperatures dipped to 4.8 degrees Celsius. Dense fog reduced visibility across the national capital, impacting flight operations at Delhi airport and leading to delays. Meanwhile, authorities have reimposed the Graded Response Action Plan or GRAP 3 across Delhi NCR, banning non-essential construction and demolition activities. Baderwa in Jammu and Kashmir is hosting a 2-day winter carnival to promote tourism in the region. Organized by the Jammu and Kashmir Tourism Department along with the Baderwa Development Authority and Doda District Administration, the event highlights the area's natural beauty, adventure tourism, snow-capped peaks and famous lavender fields, attracting tourists during the winter season. The Indian Navy successfully held the 5-day Joint Services Multi-Speciality Medical Camp across Lakshadweep Islands. The camp reaffirmed the armed forces' commitment to delivering quality healthcare and preventive services to remote island communities through seamless inter-services cooperation. And still to come on DD India News Hour. BCCI announces women's white ball squad for upcoming Australia tour. Arthur Furry scores first upset of the Australian Open by taking down 20th seed Flavio Cobolli.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and time now for some sports news. The third and series decider match between India and New Zealand is underway at the Holkar Stadium in Indore. India skipper Shubman Gill won the toss and opted to bowl. India just made one change, including left-arm pacer Arshdeep Singh in place of Prasidh Krishna in the playing 11. On the other hand, New Zealand arrived with the same time that triumphed over the hosts in second ODI. Harshit Rana and Arshdeep Singh provided India with early breakthrough. Arshdeep cleaned up Henry Nicholls for duck, while Harshit removed Devon Conway for 5 and Will Young for 30. With Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli in focus, India will hope to bounce back from the defeat and secure the win and series. All right, and DD India's Narayan Singh joins us on the story. Hi Narayan, a very good afternoon to you. Narayan, we were talking about that this is a batting paradise at Holkar Stadium, but what just happened? As you and I talk, it's 71 for 3. What's wrong with New Zealand? Or is there some really great improvement in India's bowling lineup? What happened? How do you analyze that?
Siddharth, definitely if we talk about Holkar, it is one of the batting paradise in the world cricket. If we talk about the 380 plus scores after Trent Bridge and the Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium, it is the third venue which has produced most 380 plus scores. If we take a look at India's previous 2 matches here, India has scored 380 plus runs in both the occasions. One is 385 and one is 399. So all in all, we can say it's a batting paradise. But the way India started their innings, especially with the Indian pacer, especially Harshit Rana and Arshdeep Singh, that put New Zealand in a back foot, and they, after losing 2 early wickets, they made a cautious approach, and that's why the scoring was not so fluent as we were discussing. And after that, they also lost their 3rd wicket of Will Young. But the tormentor-in-chief of this series, especially we talk about Daryl Mitchell, he is still on the crease. If he goes and if India doesn't pick his wicket early, then it could be difficult for India still, because we know the ball is nicely coming on the bat. It's all about the application, how you apply and how you play according to the condition. But kudos to the Indian bowlers, especially Harshit Rana and Arshdeep, the way they bowled, and the inclusion of the Arshdeep Singh, that played a big role in defining this match, because the way he gave an early breakthrough to India with Harshit Rana. Because if you get early wickets in any match, definitely the opponent goes on the back foot. Yeah. Exactly that happened here. But we can say that toss, as India won the toss and they're batting first. So it is also in India's favors, because when the New Zealand will bowl in the second innings, definitely there will be dew, and in those conditions it will be difficult to bowl for the New Zealand. So I think the record of the India not losing a series against ODI series against New Zealand, it will remain intact, because we know that in the 16 occasions when New Zealand visited for the one-day cricket, they never won a ODI series against India, and right now it is looking like that India will keep that record intact here at the this stadium also.
Well, let's see. I mean, time will tell that. But Narayan, you were talking about some new players coming into India from New Zealand's team, and you were saying that it might affect Team India's performance because they are new, and team will not be able to understand how they play, what's their tactic. But then it seems like it has backfired, because Indian team, the men in blue, have done their homework really, really well. And that is the reason why we are seeing what we are seeing, that on a batting friendly pitch, they are getting early breakthroughs. And now as you and I talk, it's 3 wickets down for New Zealand. Narayan, how come?
If you talk about this team, actually their main team, their frontline batters, their bowlers are preparing for the T20 leg of the India series, and also we know that next month there will be the T20 World Cup. So because of that, they have bought some their bench strength, the players who have not played international cricket too much. If you talk about their 15-member squads, and out of them 8 are coming to India for the very first time, and 5 players are playing, 2 players are playing the international cricket for the very first time. And apart from that, if you take a look, that 5 players, they have less than 10 matches under their belt, so very inexperienced side. So in that context, we can say that they gave a good contest against India, which is a full strength team, and forced the series into a decider. So all in all, we can say that New Zealanders are trying their bench strength, because they are veterans like Kane Williamson, Mitchell Santner, their key bowler, and we can say that in the recent past, the way he handled the team, they are the replacement of these veterans like Jaden Lewis, Lennox. So they are trying to check their bench strength. So we can say that they are totally focused on the T20 leg of the India series, and because this is the year of the T20 World Cup. All in all, if India today wins, definitely we think it's a good practice for the Team India, because many players from this series will be the part of the T20 World Cup also. Siddharth.
Definitely. Narayan, so what should be Team India's strategy now going ahead in this match?
If we talk about this match, just take the wicket of the Daryl Mitchell, because we know that he is the highest run getter of this series so far, and more than 200 runs in the last match. If you take a look in the Rajkot, he scored a century, and that turned the match. If you talk about that match, till the Kuldeep Yadav came, the match was in balance, and was we can say that was in India's favor too. But the way Daryl Mitchell handled Kuldeep Yadav and punished him for bowling the flatter deliveries, definitely that changed the match for New Zealand in that contest, in the second contest. So here still Daryl Mitchell is there, so we can say that definitely as soon as possible India should go for his wicket. If Daryl Mitchell is down, I think it is done and dusted for the New Zealand, and India definitely will be in driver's seat in this match. And it's very important for this India to win the match and win the series, and the first series of this new year, the 2026. So definitely India will hope to win the match and the series, because we can say that we can't afford to lose a series against we can say that B or the C New Zealand side. So it will be also good for the Indian player, because the veterans like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, I think they are in the final leg of their career, and the way they have just pulled the things back for the India. If you take a look previous match, well, KL Rahul scored a century, but it went into vain. So we can say that it's a learning curve for the juniors also, who are just coming into the team for both the teams, and to learn from the veterans like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. So all in all, we can say that the way things will pan out will be, we can say that will go in anybody's favor who will play better. But right now the need of the hour is the wicket of the Daryl Mitchell.
Oh, definitely. And I'm pretty sure that the entire Holkar Stadium would be cheering for the entire Indian team, but they would be cheering more for Roko, because they want to see the magic again on the field. Let's see what happens, how the match will unfold. The time will only tell. Thank you so much, Narayan. We leave it there. The Board of Control for Cricket in India has announced Indian women's ODI and T20I squads for the upcoming tour to Australia. Spinner Shriyanka Patil and batter Bharti Fulmali return to the T20I squad, while wicketkeeper Gunalan Kamalini and left-arm spinner Vaishnavi Sharma earn maiden ODI call-ups. Kashvi Gautam was also added to the 15-member ODI squad, while pacer Arundhati Reddy and left-arm spinner Radha Yadav were dropped. India will play 3 T20Is and as many ODIs between February 15 and March 1st. British qualifier Arthur Ferry scored the first major upset of the Australian Open by taking down 20th seed Flavio Cobolli on his maiden main draw debut in Melbourne. Ranked 185, Ferry battled past the Italian in 3-set game. This loss was a major setback for Cobolli, who appeared to be battling a physical issue throughout the match. Ferry's only other Grand Slam second round appearance came at Wimbledon last year, where he also beat a 20th seed in the first round. Meanwhile, home hope Talia Gibson also secured a surprise win over comparatively higher-ranked Anna Blinkova. This is just Gibson's third appearance in the main draw of the Australian Open. The 119th ranked Aussie took down Blinkova in 76 minutes in a third career win over a top 100 player. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Prasar Bharati from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.